Okay, we are live. We are live. Hello, everybody. This is Ali Hackett, King of the Oldies. And of course, this is one of my early segments, which I think will be really, 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 really good of edutainment. Let me say that properly so you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. Edutainment. It's a combination of education and entertainment put together. So it's called edutainment. My guest that I have here today is Miss Carrie Brown. Miss Carrie Brown is a local name, if you will. Maybe some of you, excuse me, have forgotten about her because she's moved. She doesn't live in the area anymore, but she frequents coming back and forth. And I'm going to not give all the information. I'm going to let her tell you where she was born, and because I've got some questions for her. But this whole show is designed to keep our music heritage alive. That's the whole show is designed for that. And I'm going to say this, it may offend some people and I hope it doesn't, but I hope you understand where I'm coming from. If our story is not told by us, and I mean us of color, if it's not told by us of color, Michael Jackson in 10 years will be a white guy. And I say that because of the fact that the people who are writing it or the people who are write the histories have a different agenda. Their mindset is totally different. All they care about is getting credit for whatever. You know what I'm saying? Black music, black film, black actors have been around for a long time and have made a significant, a significant move or matter in this arena. So that's what this show is all about, discovering that. We're not only going to talk to entertainers, we're not only going to talk to singers, we're going to talk to chefs, we're going to talk to police people, we're going to talk to people who make a difference in our lives. So, this, I hope that you will submit and become a member, a regular member of this show. Looking at it, it's going to be a weekly show, but stay tuned. I'll let you know when it's going to start. But right now, we're just trying to get information. So, enough talking by me. Let me go to my special guest, Miss Carrie Brown, Queen of Entertainment in Las Vegas. How are you, my love? How you doing?
I'm doing just fine, Ollie. How are you today?
I'm okay, thank you. I'm much better now that we finally got our signals together across and we're facing each other talking. I would prefer, Carrie, to do this in person, but by the time I get out to Vegas and by the time you get here, we'll be missing each other. So now is a better time
Exactly.
than any to put it together. You look great, baby. Are you
Well,
feeling good?
thank
Everything
you.
good?
Yes, thank you for giving me time to get myself together. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Really, I do.
All right, all right. Carrie, let's jump in because you are a wealth of information. And what I like to do in this particular time period is talk about that information and have it expressly cleared as what you're doing, what you're not doing. But let's go all the way back to the beginning, a place called Camden, New Jersey, where you were
Yes.
born and raised. Tell us about how your background in Camden, New Jersey.
I just wanted to, make people happy. We heard a lot of negative stuff about Camden, New Jersey growing up as a kid. And it impacted me. It really did. I mean, being a little black girl just trying to go to school, people yelling and screaming from cars, saying things that we're not going to be. And I was determined, I wasn't going to be what those people were saying.
Okay.
And I was so blessed because Cindy Bird song, my big sister, I had the opportunity to see her later in her career go on and be a Supreme from a Bluebell, which she initially worked with Patty first, and she did some other things in the city and what have you. But as a kid and watching a lot of the things I experienced, in the city, and just being around, I wanted to do things different. A kid, we don't really know about integrity. All we knew was I just want to be better than what the people would, stereotype us as a black people, what we were not going to be, knowing that we are very gifted and talented people by God. That's
Okay.
something I always like knew. And I got to bring out my mom and my dad because my mom and my dad allowed me to use their living room. I want to say I had to be maybe about 4 years old, and starting to have my own shows from their living room. And of course, my
Okay.
brothers would laugh at me, but I wanted to be Shirley Temple. I just wanted to entertain. And then later on, my parents got involved because it started getting bigger. And so we set up the living room like a stage because it kept me too in the house. And they
That's a
loved
good
that.
thing.
So I was always
Yes.
creating as a kid. And I would make my tickets out of construction paper, the regular cardboard. And every week they would be a different color. And then my mom would get creative and make out of ice trays, popsicles, but we used Kool-Aid, to pass out to the kids. And now the
Right.
show's starting. And, I got to shout out Butch Blade Ingram because Ingram Brothers family, they impacted me too. As a kid, I was running around the streets, Barbara Ingram, I'm chasing them because it's like, that's my thing. That's what I want to do, but I had to get some training and experience because Cindy was already gone by that time. By the time I really, really, it started clicking, she was already out there doing her thing. So I had
Okay.
to figure things out. And so when I was in elementary school, of course, I couldn't start playing instruments in the first grade, but my mom and dad started me, not in the kindergarten, but in first grade. My first instrument, I want to say, was either the flute or clarinet. But by the time I got to, fifth grade, I was just frustrated because I had to learn every horn instrument, and I was getting frustrated with my then musical director, Mr. McKinney. And I was like, if I don't get the saxophone this year, I'm not doing school band. I mean, I've been in Glee Club. I'm like, I'm in everything where music is. I literally wanted to be my own human band. I'm playing
Okay.
the trumpet, the trombone. And so I'm learning all these horns, but he didn't give me the saxophone. So I went into the class and I was just ready to turn in my instrument and tell him, I'm done with this. But before I could literally get it out of my mouth, he sat an instrument on my lap and he said, open it. It was the alto
Okay.
saxophone. I was
Okay.
excited. And I told him how I felt, my frustration, because that's all entertainers. We all get frustrated when we really want that big piece. But there
Right.
was something that he left me with. He said, well, see, when you get in junior high, they're only going to give those instruments to the upper class. So he knew that. So if you want to play in a school band, you might have to play the trumpet, the trombone, or whatever's available. I don't want you to be discouraged because
Hmm.
you're not going to get the saxophone until you become an eighth grader. He was
Okay.
right. He's right.
Okay.
So it taught me discipline. I had to be disciplined. I had to really learn how to say, okay, I can't do this right now. I
Right.
got to kind of wait my turn.
Exactly.
And so, and Butch, I mean, Butch Blade Ingram, I handled him so bad because he was one of my eighth grade teachers. Now I
Okay.
want to sing.
Okay.
But he put me on the microphone, and I just knew that that day I was going to be a big star. And it was, the rest is like kind of history. So,
Yeah. Isn't it amazing, Carrie? And I'm looking at the expression on your face as you're talking about this past history, how your eyes are lighting up and the fun that you're having sharing this information with us. Isn't it something of that back in the day? First of all, we didn't have phones and laptops and all of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
Half of most of us didn't even have watches. We had to be home by the time the street lights came on. Somebody talk to
exactly.
me, would you please? Um,
Yes.
and I'm just looking at the excitement and the fun that you're sharing facially. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
wow.
So I know your heart is just going all over the place with these things that happened before. And I say that because with you having that burning desire to do this, that, or the other instrumentation, wait a minute,
Mental.
instrumentally wise,
Exactly.
okay?
Yes.
And then also having the desire to sing. The whole desire burning in you was being in show business. That's the whole
Yes.
desire. And anybody that I've talked to, including myself, once you get bit, it's hard to get
Yep.
rid of that feeling. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mean to cut you
It's
off,
so
but I
true.
wanted to just inject that in
No,
there.
no. Exactly. I expect you to interject because that's how I get, where I need to go. And I feel it because it's a passion. I tell people I didn't chase money. I chased my passion. You know,
Okay.
it was
Very
just,
good point.
you know, I could eat it, sleep it, drink it. It was like, I was just up. It was just like this vibe.
Okay.
I got to get another fix.
Right. 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 I understand
Yeah.
perfectly well. I understand perfectly well. Tell us how you got into, I mean, you gave us a little overview, but tell us what actually got you into this business, this entertainment business, if you will, please.
Well, my goal, I always wanted to be a performer. So later on, you know, I'm out there in, you know, the East Coast, and I end up with a manager by the name of Frank Olivis, and I work with a band, the Civilo Band. And I was given a challenge. I mean, we were just everywhere: Philadelphia, New Jersey, New York, you name it. We were booking all over the place. But there was a wonderful woman that came out with a song called Lady in the Street, Freaky in the Bedroom. That was Denise LaSalle, and it was a hit. So
Yes, Lord
Frank
have mercy.
said, we got to be in the Wonder Bar this weekend in, I think it was Paulsboro, New Jersey. And they specifically are requesting us to sing that song.
Okay.
Me and the three girls, we were like, we don't know that song. It just came out. So he gave us a challenge separately. I want you all to learn this song, and then I'm going to allow each one of you, you know, privately, I'm going to audition you for the band to perform it. Oh boy. Well, you know, being a mom, you know, a wife, all that at that particular time, you know, I just had to knuckle down because I'm singing with this big band now. So at the end of the day, I did my part and I auditioned. Now, I didn't know as of yet. And I think we had like 3 days for that show. And, and guess who got it? I did.
Yeah.
I got the
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
And we packed out the Wonder Bar, and we couldn't even get out the doors that night because
Right.
they were trying to catch me off the stage and grab my legs, and you know, and for me, I had to be creative because what they did was, you know, like they say, you got to have your headliner, you know, you got to have your front end, you got to have the middle, but that back end got to be just as strong as the two your or your features. I
Right.
had to come out hitting them hard, man. So I
Okay.
got to shout her out because she is my sister-in-law and she's one of my childhood friends. Her name is Joy Brown, and she helped me with a lot of my costumes.
Okay.
And you know, my mind, I'm a creator. If I see it, I can be it. So I sew too. I sewed it, but I needed to help me with the buttonholes and certain things I needed to do for the collar. She's a
Sure.
tailor. She comes over that morning, and I was wearing that night. So,
Okay.
and it was
Okay.
full of black lace, you know, because that's just Carrie. I
Yeah.
just had to come out being, you know, that sexy
Bringing it. You had to
lady
come
in the
out bringing it.
street, you know, freaky in the
Yeah.
bedroom. And I learned a
Yeah.
lot. I had so much fun doing that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. The man, you mentioned a name that I haven't heard in a long time, the Wonder Bar. Man, oh man.
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
that's a that's a name. And that's again goes back to those times when partying was actually partying. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And we
And
had
the
fun.
entertainment
We
was,
had
yeah, the
fun.
entertainment was on point. Exactly correct. Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Carrie, share with us some of your, let's say, formal training, because I know you've had
Whew.
some. Share with us some of your formal training, and that's almost like a welcome addition to what you have naturally, because now they're showing you how to do it on a professional level. Share with us your training, if you would.
Okay. Let me just say this because you ended it with a professional level. And knowing how I kind of come with whatever I would, you know, God gifted me with. I didn't have no professional training back in the day.
Okay.
It was hands-on training. And I am going to shout her out because she was a wonderful woman who took me under her wing at the age of 17. It was Rachel Williams.
That's where I'm
And
going.
I sat next to her and she taught me pretty much everything I know. I might have put a little twist on it though. But I think today, if she were alive, she'd be very, very proud of me. Um, I'll just give you one of my experiences with Rachel Williams. If you don't mind, I just need to get a little drink of water
Okay. Go
and
ahead.
then I want to share this story because it's
Go ahead.
funny.
Go ahead. Go ahead and chug it down like you did back on the corner.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. And so I walk in the office one day. Now our office was over there on 30th Street, over there where the train station I think is.
Right.
And we was in that gold dome building with the real big gold dome.
Yes.
You could see it from New Jersey.
Yes.
And she said, Carrie, come here. Now, Miss Rachel's desk was in the back of the office. She liked to be in the back. Now, I had not as of yet elevated to be her executive assistant, but she did let me know one day if I, panned out at the job and all, eventually I would have the opportunity to do that. But in the meantime, it was hands-on training with Miss Rachel Williams. She needed to know you knew what you were doing, even if she threw you out there cold. Well, that's what she did to me. She was good at that. But I walk in the office, she said, here. So, I take the folder. I'm going to sit here because I got a book right here. And I take the folder. And so I did like this. And I'm breezing at the folder. And I'm like looking at it like, okay, Philadelphia Intruders, rehearsal, load in, backstage, showtime.
Right.
I never did that before. So I'm like, okay, what you talking about? She was like, I said, okay, more or less. You're like, what do you want me to do with this? Miss Rachel said, did you read it? I took and looked at it again. Sometimes you got to look at it again, make sure you're seeing things right.
Yes, that's correct.
Because The Intruders was famous before I started working with Miss Rachel.
Okay.
They are icons. I tell people we gotta get this stuff right. They're not just legends; they're icons.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, standing at her desk, I was like, okay, well, yeah, what you want me to do with this? She said, bye. I was like, okay. So I knew I better not turn around. I had to go get my purse and get out that door with that folder
Right.
and go to that location. And thank God for Holly. He was there because he was a choreographer helping out at the time. But he didn't get there when I he got there
Gotcha.
because
Gotcha.
Miss Rachel was a stickler. You better be on time. I better not
Yes,
hear
she
you was
was.
late. Da, da,
Yes,
da, da,
she
da.
was. Yes, she
And one
was.
of the jobs is, back in the day, we had to know the artist's songs from front to back. That in rehearsal, if they even missed one word, they had to start that song over again.
Right. Yes.
So
Yes.
thank God I knew some of the songs that they were going to be performing that night because I grew up listening to those songs.
Right.
But to make a long story short, I get there, they in there fighting.
That's not unusual for the intruders. It's not
I was like,
unusual.
oh my God, what did I walk into? They was all up inside of the wall. One of them pulled the shirt off the daggone sleeve. I
Yeah.
said, this stuff is really true. I said,
Yeah.
oh my God. So thank God, the other people that were supposed to be helping through the rehearsal and everything we had to do, they got them. And I was like, I hope that is not your shirt for the night for the show. Because, just a nice shirt. It was blue, but they was like, no, we got our stuff is in the suit. But they were like big kids and they were brothers.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you, when we got done with that rehearsal, and then I had the job of making sure that they was backstage by 8 so they could get dressed and everything. And showtime at that time was at 9 o'clock. And I'm thinking to myself, because Miss Rachel had already told me, they'll escort you to your seat. I'm sitting next to her. I'm waiting for Miss Rachel to say, well, how was everything? Because I was scared to even look at her. It's like,
I got you.
and I looked up at her. She was like, are they backstage? I said, well, yes. She said, enjoy the show.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
She didn't want to hear
Right.
nothing else.
Right.
So, I tell people I'm not mean, but I know what's going to get us to the goal.
Right.
Sometimes we, trying to figure stuff out. You can't figure it out. Let's get the job done and get the best result. Now, they put on a heck of a show that night, too. I tell you. You would have never known that even happened because it's showtime for them.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so that
Exactly.
was something that, I really had to learn. Stop getting into, the negative, just try to stay as positive as you can. Even when you walk into situations, you just be like, you know what? Because I could have just ran on out of there. I'm a kid. I wasn't even
Right.
in my 20s then. I think I
Right.
might have been about,
Right.
because I was still working for RCA Records at that time in
Okay.
Camden. I used to work for
Okay.
RCA too.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so and Elvis was recording at that time out of RCA
Right,
when I was in
right,
Camden.
right. It's some of the and you and I have talked. We've known each other for a long, long, long time,
You should
and
be my
we.
dad now. I remember when I met you. I do. I was 17. And no, it might be a little bit after that. No, let me go up a little bit because then my son was a child star working with Miss Rachel.
Right,
You came in at the time we were working with Shaquille O'Neal.
right,
And
right,
I was the one on the video camera because we were videoing his commercial. Shaq Baby 1, 2, 3. That was us under Rachel,
right.
Williams regime. And I don't know why you might have came in that day. I don't know if it was her talking to you about taking over the adult show, which you later did, or at the time, which she
Well,
was
we
making the
had been in
transition.
contact, and I had done a couple of things for Miss Rachel, and
Yeah.
and
Oh, I
got
know
to
you
know her.
did.
Yeah, got to know her pretty well. And your
Yes, you did some
description of
hosting
her
for her,
is
some of her shows.
yeah, yeah. Your description of her is really really on point.
Oh yeah.
No nonsense. She
Nope.
wanted the show to go on, make sure it was done properly, and those are the things that I inherited and learned from her as well. So my point being is
Absolutely.
that you and I go back a little bit as far as Miss Rachel and that organization is concerned, along with
Right.
Sonny Lewis and a couple of other people.
Yes.
The lessons that she taught us, and I consider us as what I hate this term, but I'll just use it anyway, as old school. We're old school because we learned the way it was supposed to be done when you didn't have the technology, when you didn't have all the flashy stuff, when you didn't have all the nuances, when you didn't have all the gimmicks. We learned how it was
Exactly.
to be done the right way. So therefore, if a gimmick breaks, if something in the technical form falls down, we know how to fill in and make it happen
Exactly.
the way it's
Man, they
supposed to be
fall
done.
apart. They be like, oh my
Exactly.
God.
Exactly.
I be like, when
Exactly.
you, oh my God, you got to fake it till you make it. That's what I'm used
Exactly.
to.
Yeah. Exactly.
The
Exactly.
shoe done fell apart, stick some glue on it. I remember days we had to put cardboard in our shoe and blacken it in under the bottom and keep on walking. What do you
Absolutely.
mean?
Absolutely.
I'm telling the truth
Absolutely.
up in here.
Absolutely. Carrie, if I could ask you, um, give me a couple of words to describe what your heart felt, mind felt, being felt about this business.
It sounds easy, but
Yeah.
it's really not. But I think because I love it so much, I know I'm going to die out of it. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
passionate about it. You said it so well. I was mentored by a woman who was no nonsense. I just don't do the nonsense. And I'm business savvy. I got to be about the business
Got it.
because quality is key.
Yes, it is.
You mentioned the modern, and you don't really prefer liking to call us old school. Well, I love calling us old school
Okay.
because we had the best training. We had the best of excellence when those shows were coming out to the audience. We got standing ovations. We got people who wanted to come back and buy tickets. Now
Right.
they don't even want to look at some of these people's shows. They like, I'm not going over there no more.
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
and I know me, I gotta have a spirit of excellence before I even put the product out.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
very serious about that. So I guess you could
Okay.
say, you know what, she's not mean. She's just serious about what she brings to her audience. That's really
Do
what
you,
would sum me up.
Carrie? Do you think that people understand that, or do I mean? I know it's you don't really. I won't say you don't care because you do care. You
Oh
care
yeah.
to an nth degree. But do you think that the people that you're dealing with now, do you think that they understand that?
No.
I
on
agree.
many levels. And I will say that because you're right on point when you said, they go to school, they get this education, but they still ain't doing it right.
Right.
Why do I say that? Because you got a Ollie Hackett and a Carrie Brown that's been out there. We got a special eye for what is and what ain't. And if it ain't making no sense to us, you can believe it is not making any sense to the audience.
I agree.
That is a big problem today. Really,
I
it
agree.
is. It's
I
really
agree.
it's a major problem. Absolutely. And so, even though we know the dollar is attached, but they say it. If you just chasing the dollar one day, that's it. That's all you gonna have, a
Yeah.
dollar bill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what's happening to our live entertainment? Really, for me, that's all we have. That
Hmm.
is fun, exciting. You can get dressed up. Even you can go out with your sneakers on if you want to.
Right.
You can make it happen. I never waited for anybody to take me to a show. I was in the shows most of the time, so I'm there, I'm working. And so the experience is just exuberant. That's just basically what I could say. But
Okay.
you got to level up. You cannot stay in the same place.
Right.
They don't
Right.
understand variety today. They think they got a good voice and that's it. No, it
Right.
takes more than
Right.
that.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
It
If
takes a
if
lot
if
more than that.
if there was one thing, it's gonna be more, but if there was one thing that you could change in this musical industry to make it better by your eyesight, what would it be?
Whew. Well, one thing we do know we no longer have, and this is something I still do, is artist development. I am so tired of them throwing these people on the stages and they look erect.
Yeah,
I, I got to be real. And they
that's
think
a
it's
very good point.
entertainment because
That's
you
a
bought the
very good
ticket.
point.
Really? But the quality stinks.
That's a very good point. That's
I
a good
got to be honest.
Motown
Yeah.
used artist development. Stax used all of the ones that we grew up with.
Yeah.
Basically
Philly
had
International. Come on.
yes, yeah,
Motown, those
all
guys.
of them had artist development.
Brunswick. I mean, look at
Yeah,
Jackie Wilson.
yeah,
That
yeah.
man lit up the stage when he got
Yes,
out
he
there. You
did.
couldn't resist going back to see his shows.
Yes, he did. Very good. Very good point. Very good
Mm-hmm.
point. Very good point. Your title as Queen of
Whew.
Entertainment of Las Vegas, step by step, would you kindly explain to my listening, viewing audience what that means and how you got it? Let's talk about what it means first before you get to how you got it.
What it means first is that Miss USA and Miss Universe, I'm not a pageant queen. First, let me just say that I'm a branding queen. And they wanted to put the United States flag in front of USA. And so back in 2012, they discovered you can't just stick it there. And it was never done in our United States history. So it was three directors that got together to find a queen. I wish they had found a king too, but to find a queen to brand in those various titles step by step. So that title is humongous. And Dawn Reese out in Florida, she was my first contact person. She called me, and this was in December of 2014 because they're still looking. They're still looking for this person, but they somehow came across me in Vegas working on these shows. So now they're watching me. That's why I tell people, watch yourself out here because people are really watching you to do great things.
Okay.
And your integrity be shot. They just gonna go to the next person. Because I tried to throw them to the next person because this is what I told them. I'm nobody's queen. I am a city girl with a country girl heart. That's it. But Dawn Reese she was not giving up. So, she called me, explained to me about this prestigious title. But there were titles that were never ever branded in our United States history by no president, nobody. in
Okay.
order to get the flag in front of USA, which is about the life of Jesus Christ and the walk, the blood that he shed all over our nations. And they
Okay.
needed to not only just go through the cities and states, the capital and all that old stuff, the world, they now needed to take it international, which comes in the nation USA. And then it had to go all the way over to other countries. Some of them countries I can't even pronounce, but I thank God they really, love the work. But going nations now with the S on it. So that whole thing, everybody see and think it's my, no, it's not. That's about the greatest ambassador I know, which if you read your Bible in First Corinthians, I believe it's found. I know it's in the book of Corinthians. It is about God's called ambassadors that represents our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I did not walk into that office or those offices. I gave them people. I mean, I really was like, leave me alone. I'm nobody's queen.
I
But at
got
the
you.
end of the day, Dawn called me like maybe 3 months later and asked me, did I? I said, I ain't thinking about that. I was working, working on the shows. Well, finally, I said, I tell you what, because she kept calling me. I said, let me pray about it because I did not, and they didn't tell me all that in the beginning.
Okay.
And then I asked them, like I asked you, what made you, why you call me? She said, because we watched you for 4 years. I
Okay.
was like,
Okay.
y'all was watching me for four
Somebody
years.
was doing
That
it.
was
Somebody
like,
was doing their homework. Somebody was doing their
yeah.
homework.
I was like, well,
Yeah.
what was you looking for? She said, your integrity. That was it.
Okay.
My integrity?
Yeah.
I said, okay. I said, well, let's talk. I said, let me pray about this and then I'll get back to you. She got my answer. I want to say a few months after down the road in 2015, after I, counseled with the Lord, and the Lord said, why not you? I said, okay, God.
Outstanding. Okay.
And then I called Dawn Reese so she didn't have to call me no more. I said, I'll do it.
Okay.
So when people saw
Okay.
me with the crowns and the sashes in Miss USA, I was branding in the titles. I became their poster child. Let's just put it that.
Okay. Okay.
And so for me, it impacted me when I did complete all of the titles, which yes, I am the title holder today. That title must be said in the way it was branded in because it has been written all over the world. It's in magazines, it's everywhere now. Because God wants what he wants. That is actually God's royal regal crowning over his nations. That's what that
Okay.
is.
Well, thank you
So
so
at
much
the
for
end of
taking
the
the
day,
time.
just to say this, when I completed the nations, in the because I had to have a coronation, I had to be prayed over, changing of the guard. I mean, this thing was really heavy.
Okay.
And so, to make a long story short, it's nothing to laugh about because it's what God wanted for his people. I take no credit for myself. And so, like, I don't know what you're getting ready to ask me, but when you all see me doing these awards, I got it already.
Okay.
God want me to now give it to his people that really rightfully belongs to them. So
Gotcha.
that's really what
Gotcha.
that's all about,
Okay.
Ali.
Well, I thank you for explaining that because of the fact that there's so many people since you've been coming back and forth that you have bestowed honors to and awards to and what have you. After talking to them, half of them don't understand what it is. So what you're explaining now explains why, it explains the question: who, what, when, where, and why. Okay.
Exactly.
And going further now, as what are your plans? What are your objectives? What are the plateaus that you wish to ascertain when everything is done?
Well, excuse me. God gives us visions, he gives us dreams. And uh, God wants me to do a building here, and it'll be in Las Vegas. Um, and it'll be about the journey, uh, connections, people. I've been saving memorabilia since I was a kid. And I do. I see a museum in there in the building. God has showed me that from the East Coast Empire to the West Coast and all over the globe because I'm just not the queen of Las Vegas. I am the nation's ambassador. I am the
Okay.
queen of all those nations that I hit globally, worldwide in 2019. I didn't put all that out there
Okay.
because it was about me. It was about God and his people and the work that he wants to pour out to you all. And so, why he entrusted me to be able to do that, God tell me to do something, I'm gonna do it because I got tired of the Lord whipping on me. Because
I got
Ali,
you.
I was the one telling Lord, you don't want me to do that. Let me go over there and boogie woogie with them over there. Look, with Jerry Blabbing and all them. I'm gonna go have some fun. But when I really, really grasped what God wanted to give to his people from him to you all, the work continues. I have to do it. I have to do it God's way. He wants to give you all his blessings for the
Absolutely.
excellence or the spirit of excellence that you have walked in his gifts and talents, that you
Yes.
didn't do what everybody else did. He's pleased about that. So that really blesses me because them three women. Man, if I had been a kid with a pacifier, I wanted to just kick them in their knees. Will y'all leave me alone? But I love them. I tell you, Dawn, Pam out there in New York and Linda, my directors, they weren't no nonsense. And that's how I knew this must be God because they just wouldn't let up. And guess what? All three of them are white women. See
Okay.
me? No race involved. That's the kind of God we serve. But they were determined to get it done. And he got it done finally after I got stuck, stopped screaming and howling about everything.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Well, you have you again, since I've known you, and I must continue to give those accolades that you have been a strong black woman who
Oh,
have
thank
persevered through some of the most difficult times. And one of the main things is being in a different, totally different location than where we are.
you.
Trying to do
Yes,
something on the East Coast and keep things up on the East Coast while you're physically on the West Coast is a very, very difficult task.
it
And you have
really
handled
is.
that very, very, very well. So I tip my hat to you
Oh,
and
thank you.
accolades to you. What is it that you're looking to? I mean, how far do you want this to? No, that's not a good question either. When you retire, which I don't think is anytime soon, okay, what is it that you're looking to have done? How would you like that poster to read? Carrie did this. What did you do? What is it that you wanted to accomplish?
Oh gosh. Well, of course we know that I want to
Uh oh, we just got cut off. Uh oh, we just lost her. Just lost it. Oh my goodness. Modern technology, folks, I tell you, it's wonderful when it happens, and then it's not good when it doesn't happen. I'm sure she'll be back. For those of you that are just tuning in, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope that you'll subscribe to this show because it's going to be a weekly show, and I'm going to be talking to any and everybody that I can. I've got people already lined up. So once we get started and I let you know that it's a weekly show, you'll know where to get it, where to find it. But I hope that you'll subscribe. Mainly, not only subscribe, but tell somebody about it and have them subscribe as well. I can guarantee you one thing, and I'm not bragging. I'm not bragging. Honestly, I'm not bragging. I do know my music. Okay, but this show is not all only about music. It's about the promoters, it's about the singers, it's about the dancers, it's about the actors, it's about a chef, it's about a policewoman. Those who have made an impact in our lives that we're still here to enjoy and what have you. Those are the people that I'm going to be talking to. Today, we just happen to be talking to Miss Carrie Brown. You guys have heard that name from Camden, New Jersey, who lives out in Vegas. She is the queen of entertainment in Las Vegas. And she's run back and forth from the West Coast to the East Coast, back and forth here to bestow some honorees and some honorary titles on people so they can keep this legacy, this music alive. That's what it is. Carrie Brown entered the studio. Here she is back
You
again.
know, I even
Here she
put
is
out a
back. Here
notice
she
to
is.
let them
Okay.
know I'm like,
She's back to us one more time. Hi,
yes,
Carrie.
yes. Can you really give me that question again? I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
absolutely. I was saying to you, and thank you for coming back. And listen, modern
Oh,
technology
absolutely.
is wonderful when it works, but when it doesn't, it's a pain in the behind. But it's okay. But thank you for coming back. The
Oh, okay.
question was, when you retire, which I don't see happening anytime soon, okay? But my point is, what would you like for that plaque, that piece of paper to say that you what you did?
Okay, that's really kind of easy because, and I'll just say it like this because for me, and I got to interject my mother because I've been
Okay,
songwriting since I was a kid. I mean, my mom always felt I was just as good as everybody else. Why aren't you doing your stuff? And I kept like putting all my stuff on the back burner because it was almost like I know what to do. I wanted to be big mama and push the little chicks,
okay,
because I would hear so many times people saying, I went over here and they won't let me sing or they won't let me do this. And I was like, well, what are you waiting on that for? Do it yourself.
right, right,
And so I wanted to read if it says anything, to kind of keep me in a place of humility, that Carrie was a woman that believed in esteeming others higher than she esteemed herself.
wow, that's
That's
nice.
it. That's
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 very nice.
really what would be on my heart because I look at so many lives that are even today in their careers, and they do. I tell you, when I come home, I get so much love from that East Coast empire
Okay,
because a lot of them was really struggling in their careers, and I was like, I think I can help you.
right,
And what
right.
people don't understand about us, Ali, when we put our name on somebody, and then you come out here and you act the you know what, or Ash, I'll say ASH,
Right.
that's a reflection of us.
Yes, it
That's
is.
why even today, if I call them projects, because I've been a manager too, and being a manager of just one artist is like being married to those people.
Yes, it is.
And then after a while, they get a little disrespectful, forgetting whose money financially is investing in them because we believe in them. Then you get the show you want. Then you get to be an opening artist for who you want to open for, whatever. And now your name in the marquee. And then you turn around and look at us like we some
Yeah.
popcorn. And then you go out there and try to slander us because you think you got it all. But let me tell you something. If you don't know this business, I say it all the time. You might be up, but it's hard to get back up when you fall.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't always come back, especially when, I listen.
Yeah.
I don't even got to listen that hard. People just call me. Let me tell you what so and so. I'll be like, that's on now.
Right.
Because
Right.
I get to pick and choose. Ali, we get to pick and choose.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I've told people on the air, on my radio shows, on my TV shows, and just in conversation, this is a very, very tough, dog eat
Yes.
dog, egotistical business. But at the same time, if you flip that record over, it's a very, very lucrative. Well, I don't know about not now. I don't know about lucrative now, unless you're Smokey Robinson. But it's a very
Oh,
enjoyable
Smokey.
business. It's a very enjoy.
Yes.
Those of us who give from our hearts, you know what I'm saying, on
Yes.
stage and singing and whatever else, whatever path of walk that life that you walk on. If you give from your heart, it's always difficult when somebody cuts you down. Always difficult. You know what I'm saying? But I know that you give
Exactly.
from your heart, and you know that I give from mine. So
Oh,
we give it
absolutely.
everything that we have,
Yes.
and all we want is just a little bit of
Of
appreciation.
respect. I mean, come
Yeah,
on. I mean,
appreciation and respect for what's been done. Yeah.
absolutely. Like back in the day, and a lot of people, and I'll say it today because I really don't care anymore. But my production company back in the day was Paradise Fortune Productions. That's who I was. And I walk in those nightclubs, DC Todd or whoever those big DJs were back in the day. Man, they find out I was in the room, sitting in the booth, in the back, in the corner, in the dark, with me and my girls, whatever. Oh my God, guess who's in the building?
Mm-hmm.
Paradise Fortune Productions. Come on,
Right.
somebody. I used to love that. Oh my God, Miss Carrie's here. Some place you go to, they look like, I said,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
but I'm not in it for accolades. I'm in it for other people to enjoy, what I've been enjoying ever since I was a kid.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's I don't think it's going to change. It's been that way ever since its inception with you, its inception with me, its inception with everybody. The business is not going to change. It's gotten more ruthless now.
Oh
It's
my
gotten more
God.
ruthless now because of the
I'm
slick
like
ways.
scared. I be looking at these people like, really? I mean, they
Yeah.
call me. I
Yeah.
love that because I
Yeah.
do. And again, a lot of people don't understand my title, but every piece had to be branded in, even the entertainment piece. I take that entertainment piece very serious
Right.
because that is the piece I dedicated to Miss Rachel Williams
Right. Right.
for
Right.
helping me be
Right.
the woman I am today.
Right.
Because
Right.
without her, working with me and put me in those bigger arenas, I wouldn't know half of the stuff I know today.
Exactly.
Because
And
it's
as
not
we
the same. It's really not, Ollie.
No, it isn't. And as we said earlier, she was a no nonsense lady. She taught me a lot as well.
Oh
She
yeah.
was, but one of the main things that she taught me that I'm so sorry has faded out of the woodworks today. Your word is your bond.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Her word was
Absolutely.
her bond. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But today that doesn't really mean too much in this business. You know what I mean? People will smile at you and say one thing, and as soon as you close blink, then it turn into something else. And I
Exactly.
understand a lot of the artists who have been led down that road, because the promoter says certain things and this, that, and the other, and it didn't turn out. But it all comes back to that big being on stage and being, providing that entertainment that's necessary to provide. That's what it comes back
Exactly.
to.
And I
Yeah.
think when we get that back, I mean, the real. See, this is what I ask artists when they ask me to work with them. And I'll ask them, well, why you want to go into the business? Why? That's really big for me because you can't just be all across the board. We got
Right.
to pick one piece and perfect that. No, you want to do this and do that and do no.
Right.
You need to really think about what you're doing. This is your career.
Exactly correct.
And the reason
Exactly
why it
correct.
looks so vast, I know because everywhere I go, somebody want me to sing, do a program, because I've been doing it for so long. I've been in a couple movies. They don't even script me no more because they say she's just funny, just
Right.
natural.
Right.
But what
Right.
am I saying? You got to build on your repertoire. You can't just have a fabulous song one night because some of these guys they wear out a song. It drives me
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know another song?
Right. Right.
And then you
But
want me to book you somewhere and you only got one
right.
song
And
you
and
got
this
down pat.
this comes back to what you said earlier, artist development. It comes right
Exactly.
back to what you said earlier, and that's a very, very good point. Very good point. Very good point. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
Well,
got to get that back. I mean, I'll tell anybody today if you are, because see, for me, I try to be careful what I say because people say, you work with that one, but you don't want to work with me. That's not the case. You must bring something to the table,
thank you.
and if
Thank you.
you don't know the asset that you have to bring, that somebody like a me can help develop or work with, I'm lost. We
Right.
can't make this stuff up.
Right.
And really, and you make a good point, Ollie, because back in the day, they were stealing your money and
Yes.
y'all kept on paying them
Yes.
and they
Yes.
weren't getting you nowhere because they already knew the rule,
Right.
even with the
Right.
record labels. Oh, look, I'm going to do a book. Oh, yes, I am.
Right.
And, but because I was on the inside with so much, I was determined I wasn't going to do that to the artists I work with.
Right.
I made sure I was upfront, legit, and I didn't promise them nothing.
Okay.
That's key too. Don't promise these artists anything you can't produce because
Exactly.
we're producers. I'm a producer. If
Exactly.
I can't produce that, I'm not going to tell you I can do it.
Right. Right.
But I can do this. But maybe then I can refer you to somebody that can. A lot of them won't do that.
That goes
You
back
know,
to the word that you used in the very beginning, baby. Integrity
exactly.
goes back to that, and a lot of that is
Exactly.
totally, totally, totally gone.
I'm gonna tell you right now, my circle today is very small. I thank God for the stars, legends, icons, the entertainers who know my work,
Right.
my work, and so, and they don't mind working with me.
Right.
But if your integrity is not where you, like you said, my word is bond, we got a problem.
You got it. You
It's
got it.
just as simple as that. There's nothing else to take from that too.
Right. Well, listen, Dollface, I want to thank you for your time, your energy, and your just your overall entertainment spirit. This has
Thank
been
you.
wonderful, and I will contact you when we put it all together and let you know when it's going to air. I
Thank
wish
you.
you all the best. I wish you the absolute best, and I wish that anything that you're involved in, all you know is you got to pick up the phone and call me, and I'll do what
And
I
I
can for
thank you
you.
so much for that. Thank you. I
I
thank you
love
for
you
having me
much.
today. And I
Thank you,
need you to
baby.
know, though, I'll be there next month. So hopefully I'll get to see you in something out there.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right, then.
good.
But listen, you have a wonderful day.
Thanks,
I'm so
sweetheart.
humbled by just having me on here to share because people really need this kind of information.
You got
Absolutely.
it. I'll talk to you soon. I love you
You too,
much.
Ali. I love you too now. You have a
Bye
wonderful
bye.
day. And I told you you're the only one that calls me doll. Okay. I love that. All right now. Bye
All right,
bye
baby.
now.
Bye bye.
All right. You too, dear.